nothing will come to you. You go to the water will not come to you. You go and go again and again, and you know, things will happen for people who keep trying. And this is exactly how NetSol came in being. After that, it was all genuine, you know, desire.
Thanks for joining us for Building Pakistan, a conversation with Pakistan's beloved institution builders to explore how they've built and really continue to build this young country. I'm Benji Williams from Amal Academy, and today we get to meet with Mr. Salim Ghauri, who's the founder and CEO of NetSol Limited, one of the first and largest software houses in Pakistan. What's incredible about Salim Saab and NetSol is not only that they've helped catalyze an entire industry in Pakistan, but the way in which they've done it, through strategic insight, a whole lot of hard work and perseverance, and perhaps through providential circumstance. During a time when most emerging tech companies in Pakistan were just focused on providing services, NetSol built a product. It was initially a financial tool that they built for Mercedes-Benz to provide better financing to their car owners, but somehow NetSol was able to maintain the rights for this product and now sells it for $20 million per license. NetSol was also one of the first Pakistani companies to go public on Nasdaq and then weathered the dot-com crash, managing to not only survive but eventually thrive into over 1,500 employees, $100 million projects, and a pretty amazing story that we dig into with Salim Saab. So, should we get started?
Please,
Amazing.
Go for it.
So I would love to take us back 21 years ago. A lot of entrepreneurs in Pakistan start out with meeting an unmet demand. And what I think is fascinating about NetSol and your approach is that there wasn't exactly an immediate market that was ready here in Pakistan. You think about education, finance for the poor, even like quality fashion. These are kind of obvious. There's a demand there. But your story is a bit different. So I was wondering if you could talk to us about 1996, 95. What was the initial response locally here in Pakistan when you started? At that time, I think it was called Network Solutions. What were the challenges that you faced?
How I came to Lahore in 1996. Very happily living in Australia, very happily. I'm an IT professional for a long time in Australia. It was working well, I was in demand, good money, no savings because I spend what I am, the way I am. So little saving but good life. And then decided to move back. Two young girls, young family, not much in the pocket. Just wanted to do something for Pakistan because I realized that Pakistan IT industry was not there. There was no sign of any industry while I was in Australia. Couldn't find any sign.
You saw it emerging from other countries,
I saw that.
But not necessarily from
It's
Pakistan.
an interesting story. Why it happened was working for this company in Australia, and I look after IT services. So suddenly my manager comes to me and says, Salim, can you please set that conference room with 40 computers, PC computers, and network them? That's what I do. So I said, Jay, you will do that. What for? Don't worry, just do it. Okay, the boss. So I ordered the computers. I was given weeks. So I ordered the computers. There were new computers. I ordered a network cable. I did everything. Once I got it, I set it up. Everything is done. I went to gym. Your room is ready. Oh, okay, lock it. Give me the key. Excuse me? Just lock it and give me the key. Who's going to use it? Don't worry. Okay, I don't ask you any question. Few weeks later, I passed that room, the door was open, there were 40 people, all my shape, face, but they were not from Pakistan. So I went to Jim, what's happening? What is oh, they're from India. They're here to implement our total IT system, and they'll be here for over a year. Oh, wow, from India, yeah. That was 1993. For 2 years, I just dwelled why there was no, should have been a Pakistani company.
Why no company?
Should have been a Pakistani company. Why Indian? And that's 2 years were most frustrating for me. And so I came back to Lahore. I had no money, so I came back to Lahore. My brother Shahab, a businessman, he was doing good well here. We just talked, and I said, look, I want to come back. So he said, why don't you come back? I said, I don't have any money. I want to come back and do IT business. And he said, okay, I'll give you the money. I said, excuse me? Yeah, I'll give you the money. I said, but why would you do that? I like what you do. I don't know what could be doing, but I know what you do. You're very serious. You seem to be very focused on you. So, and I like to take risk on you, invest with you. Okay, that was 1994. So went back to Australia, kept dwelling, talked to my wife Nasreen. What do we do? She says, look, I'll be with you. She's a brave soul. So 95, called Shahab again. I said, look, I'm coming back. Are you sure? Yeah, come back. Little knowledge of Pakistan. Why? Because I was away from Pakistan for 23 years. I left Pakistan in 1973. Oh, sorry, 73. So it was a long time gone already. So I had little knowledge of the country. The question was very valid. But I thought there'll be demand for my services. I'm an IT guru. I do software development. I do network service. So there surely will be work for me. But then I want to go overseas. I want to be a global player, not a Pakistani player. So we'll take some work from Pakistan and then we will become a global. That's the dream and vision. And my friend in Australia, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? Why are you going back? Pakistan's unstable. There's so much going on. Things are bad.
The plan was first build up the business within Pakistan and then expand globally.
Both things.
You thought there was local demand you
Both
could tap
things.
into?
I wanted to generate some revenue so I can sell overseas. So with the money I'll generate locally, I can focus internationally because I was international. I want to take Pakistan out. I want to reduce that. That was the dream. That was a passion at that time. I had no knowledge how I'll do it. I had little clue how it will work. No idea at all. No plan. No plan at all. I just do it. I'll go and tell people, hey, I'm Salim. Buy from me. Will they buy? I don't know. That's all I had. So came to Lahore. Shahab gave me the basic money. Took a small office into a small building with 3 people. Opened the office, and here I am.
DHA, right?
DHA.
G block.
Yeah. You remember that story. So yeah, it's a small place, and I tell everybody I had 2 suits, one blue and one black. So I'll just change every day, but I will go in suits because I wanted to be taken seriously. I think 2 or 3 ties. That's all I had that time. But I'll go to office every day, and I'll call people and I'll visit people, but no takers for my services.
And you tell this amazing story. You had your wife call you twice a day.
Trust me, it was a psychological thing. Because I'm sitting in the office, there's nothing to do. And I go to visits, come back, and then give people my card, my number. There were no mobile phones then. And then sit in. 2, 3 people, they do nothing. So I tell them to, look, do this, to develop this something silly. But, nothing. So you're sitting the whole day and nothing will happen. Nobody will come to you or phone will not ring. So in the morning, I'll go check the names. Okay, let's go to this guy. Let's go to Coca-Cola. Let's go to Pepsi-Cola. Let's go to IBM. Let's go there. Let's try to meet people. Introduce myself. I'm from Australia. I'm so good at it. You must need my services. And they'll be very nice to me, very polite to me, give me a cup of tea. And as I walk back, they'll laugh at me. This guy's crazy. What is he doing here? He shouldn't be here. So yeah, that went on. And then about a month or so, I called Nasreen in the morning and said, Yaar, ek kaam kar, please do me a favor. I said, what? Why did you call me? At least twice a day. Why? You don't like me to call you. No, I want you to call. Why? I just want the bell to ring. And she would do that, Call, and what I'll do? I'll look at the bell and say, all right, this is a customer calling. And I'll wait for 3, 4 bells to digest. I'll pick it up, it'll be in the stream. Oh, hi, okay.
It's incredible. So this was 96. And then I love how you talk about the most important call, one of the most important calls in 97 that came through.
I used to read a lot of fiction. Have you read Harry Robbins?
Harry Robbins.
Have you read it? Dream Merchant?
I don't know.
Oh, that's before you were too young.
That's
probably young people. They have no fiction writer.
I'll write it down.
Harry Robbins, Dream Merchant, and 2, 3 books of his. In that book, a young man reading, and this businessman is desperate for work, and then one day that bell rings, and he picks the phone, and he waits to pick it up, and then picks up. It is the call he was waiting for, and then it's amazing how that scenario repeated in my mind when the scenes used to call. It would, and when it is really amazing that one day that bell rang at the same time about normal scene call, and I'm looking at it, she's calling, and then pick up, it was the call which changed that show. That was the call. Unbelievable. Some people don't even say they are making it. It is amazing how it happened.
And then I love what happened after that, which is you going to Singapore.
Thailand, Bangkok.
Like just for a couple of hours.
Oh, that's Singapore. Yeah. That's I mean, yeah.
You going to Singapore just for a couple of hours for lunch.
For lunch, yeah. Yeah.
And not just once or twice, but it sounds like 3 or 4 times. Well, why did you do this?
I mean, I had no other way of getting business. I had no network. I had no, that was the only customer I had. And I said to myself, this is it. I'm going to get out of them whatever I can. I'm not going to let them go. I built a relationship here, and I want to. So it was desperation. It was, he said, what's wrong with you? Why are you coming all the way? You spend so much money. And I will travel economy class, and I will not stay in the hotel even because I couldn't afford to. So the flights was I will arrive same day, and about 6 hours later there's a flight back to Bangkok, back to Lahore. So I have enough time for lunch, and then with my bag I'll rush back to the airport. Because hotel was expensive in Singapore. Like, I didn't have enough money. I mean, travel was enough for me to take care of that. So taxi to come and go. So I will calculate every single penny I was spending. So I can't stay. So I'll tell him, look, I can't stay at night, but take me out for lunch. So at least he will pay for the lunch. He was kind enough to pay for the lunch. I didn't have to pay for two. But it was, and this is what I tell kids. Nothing will come to you. You go to the water. Water will not come to you. You go. And go again and again. And things will happen for people who keep trying. And this is exactly how NetSol came in being. It didn't happen, trust me. Yes, that call did happen from a brother. But after that, it was all genuine, desire. I asked Eugen, the German guy, later on, after a few weeks, a very good friend, and then he became on our board, still on the board. I said, Eugen, why in the world you would risk your work with a company in Lahore with very few people, no financial backing? This is silly. He smiled and said, Salim, I was not giving business to the company. I was giving business to a person who I could see with so much energy and passion and believing in himself. This was, you don't realize what people see in you. But I was watching you when you were coming to me every time, and you will stand there, and you're always moving, and your hands are moving, your face is distorted because you take. That tells you a lot that you will not fail me. So I took the risk not on the company, but on you. And look, where are you today? That was, after 15 years. And I was right on my hinge that you will pull through. So that's a message to the kids. The startups need to understand it will not happen. Miracles do happen, but you convert them. See, things happen, you convert them into miracles. Kids don't understand. They're saying, oh, somebody will come in from somewhere and put them up. No, that doesn't happen. Somebody will maybe shake your hand, but then you don't leave that hand. You make sure the hand is kept, then you keep holding it. You put so much in that others, Eugen had no choice but to find something for me. I went to him so many times, and I really, bothered him so much that he said, okay, let me think of it. Go back. I'll see what I can do for you.
And the incredible thing for me is, so you get this first call, this call that opens up opportunities. And at that point, it's for a services contract, essentially, for Mercedes-Benz. But you had a plan to get a software development contract. And so this is why you were going to Singapore. This is why you were going this extra mile, or I guess it's probably a couple thousand miles to Singapore. And then you tell this story of when they came and visited you in Lahore, which I just love, and I want to hear from your side because the details I think are incredible. What we have to do in order to convince someone to trust us with their essentially their livelihood, their product, their core business.
It is. The first meeting was important, which was after the call. So one day, that phone rang again. Exactly the same thing happened, and this was okay. After my Singapore visit, after 4th or 5th visit, so hey, okay, how are you? You calling me? He said, Salim, I think I've got something for you. Exactly what issues. What do you mean you got something for me? Why you've been bothering me with software? Well, I think I've got something for you. Are you ready to do? Yeah, I'm ready to. Come on, again. No, let me come to the hall. Excuse me? I want to come and meet your people. I want something to be developed for Taiwan, Chinese in Taiwan. And it has to be in Lotus Notes. There's another tool. You believe you can do that? And I will say yes to anything. I'm not a no guy at all. Little knowledge of Lotus Note myself because I'm not a Lotus Note guy. I was a DBS guy, other guy. Again, that's my tool. All my life worked on Lotus Notes. What's your problem? Okay, I think they give me 2 weeks time. 2 weeks, I believe I can bring my team and we'll come to your office and we'll explain to you what we want and then hopefully we can develop. Those were the two most, heaviest or difficult time of life because I have to organize something which is acceptable, not sellable, acceptable. Where they say, okay, this environment can develop our software. So that was that.
So everything was on the line.
I wish I can take my diary out. It's amazing. But I wrote there, this is the call which will change NetSol. And exactly that is the one which changed NetSol. Because that was the first software development contract which changed NetSol.
And so you were stressed for 2 weeks. You were especially
don't let the light go out, the power go out while they're here, because that would raise red flags. I had 3 problems. Power was terrible in Lahore. Today this is very good. I had only 5 people and I claimed I had 15 people. I claimed I have an office full of computers. I had only 4 computers. A space I had. So I said to my nephews, all students, I don't care how, go to your friend's houses, get me 15 computers. And bring your friends that day, no school, you have to be in the office for 2 days. So they all, and they're good kids, so they all got dressed, they all got their computers, and they were all different computers. It was funny actually. None of them, they were all different brands. Normally a company will buy computers of the same brand, right? And these are all because they were from the kids. Anyway, to get the story short, so that was prepared. But then I realized the power was terrible in Lahore those days. It would just come and go. Today they have this timing. They call this, what do you call them?
Load shedding.
Load shedding.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't load shedding. It was just power breaking down. Tuck is gone. And then you don't know when it'll come back. So I said to Shahid, Shahid, this is not going to work. I can't buy a generator. It's, a few, billion rupees, so forget it. So he said, let me find out if there's a rental generator. So he came back, 10,000 rupees per day. So this was 2 days. That's a lot of money. It's okay, I don't care. Get me a generator, but then I want a UPS. Because we had two big computers in that conference room where we were supposed to talk for 2 days. We had AC, we have lights, and we have 2 big computers. We had, at that time, 21-inch screens I bought, especially some screens are big. So then we repainted the office, cleaned it up, So I said, look, put the generator down and make sure when the power goes, lights and computers don't go off. Make sure it is seamless. He said, but sir, what happened to AC? It will run. I said, no, leave it with me. I'll take care of that. So exactly what happened is, anyway, they arrived. So they arrived and night before I picked them from the airport, dropped them in the hotel. Next morning they were supposed to come to the office and my drivers went to pick them up. So we were very anxious. We were looking at outside. Our Oregon wagon is coming and the 2 Chinese are coming and we were very excited watching it. So we saw the car coming in and they parked and they got out of the car, but they didn't come up. They started looking at the donkeys and the carts outside, started taking pictures of the donkeys. Oh my God, this is terrible. No way I'm going to get the contract with this guy. They are playing with the donkeys. So they take pictures of the donkeys, they sit like that, listen to that, and we watch it. Oh my God, this is disaster in making. And they had fun. And then ultimately they came up, and the streets were very dark. Where are we going upstairs? Where is this guy taking us? So they came up and we greeted them, we welcomed them, took to their room. Immediately I took them to the room because I knew outside there was a problem with the power. Immediately I shut them to my room, closed the door, sit down. They saw outside some kids sitting, with the computer sitting, So we came inside and after introduction, started our own presentation on how we will do their work. So within 10 minutes, I heard the click and AC went off. That means power was gone. But nothing happened. Room was cool, so they didn't realize things. They kept working. And then I heard the generator switched on. And suddenly I had a control in my bag. AC was on, so nobody realized. So whole day, this is honestly, every 20 minutes, take, gone, take back, take, gone, take back, and take. It was in my hand whole day. They went well. That night I took them to village. They loved it. Oh, they loved the food. They was well presented by my team, one of the good guys. Next day, it was a conclusion day, so we started concluding, and they said, okay, look, we are happy, and we believe you can do it. So anyway, what happened after that? So when the Shah shook hands, said, oh, Salim, I'm very impressed with you, with Lahore. So you're impressed with Lahore? What's so good about Lahore? Oh, the power supply is so good here. Oh my God. Last 2 days, it's amazing how stable the power supply is. I said in my heart, you have a little idea again what I've been doing. But this is a message to young ones. Don't let things around bog you down. Oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. You will never have a perfect environment. You create that. You create that illusion around you. This is what people buy from you. But unfortunately, we always look at what we don't have. Oh, I'm sorry, I cannot do it. Why? Because I don't have that. That isn't worth it.
I love that story. I love that message. And I find it fascinating, this focus on product, that NetSol is fundamentally a product-based business. Although it didn't start out like that. Like you said, your first few years was you were focused on services. And you had that one line in the contract which said that NetSol gets to retain the rights to the software or the product that you were developing. And so I'm wondering, how important was that one line? I think you had a couple of contracts in the early days, and then it feels like reading your story, you eventually realized we have this product that's in demand within the automobile industry, financing, leasing, and then shifted into a product-based business. Was it always the vision that we should be a product-based business?
My upbringing is the era of Bill Gates was starting. So I saw how he acquired DOS, and on that he built his company. Microsoft was built on first DOS and then other products. And I really studied him well, day one when I started my own computing. So I always wanted to be of our own things, not servicing others. Services I do just to survive. But that's not what I wanted to be. I wanted to be recognized with what we have done. But what could I do? I had no background of financial. I have no accounting degree or finance degree. I am a techie. I have very little knowledge of other businesses. So what will I develop? To develop, you need 4 things. To develop product, 4 basics are required to have a product. One is what you want to develop, the domain area. You need to have that knowledge. You need to have finances to be able to develop that. Money is important. Without money, because when you're developing, you're not selling. So there's no money coming in, means you need the money. Very important. Okay, you have a very good idea. I'm brilliant. I'm a very good accountant. I want to do a new accounting system. Or I'm a grew at it. I will still need money to put people to develop. I need that, right? So two important ingredients: knowledge, domain, money. I need technical resources who can design and then convert that idea into a product. Great. I have all three. The last part is critical. Who will be your guinea pig? Nobody will be your guinea pig. Nobody will take a product and try on their business. This has not been tested. The most difficult thing is this part. The customer, the first customer is the most. We have seen thousands of products developed and never seen the day of light. Why? Nobody was willing to try them. It's too risky, especially in the mission critical environment. 4 things you need. What did I have? I had no domain knowledge, very little money, small money coming in, a small team, not expert, and then of course, at that point, customer. So once I get this opportunity, I have a customer here who's saying to develop something on their own. What if I can get this? Now I've got all the 4. What? Now I've got the domain because they gave me the domain. They give me the domain. They give me the money too. And I will have the resources because I have the money. I have the customer who's testing it. So suddenly I've got all 4, just straight of luck like that. Can I convince them? Most people, what they do, they take upfront money. They're so anxious because they want to live very quickly, they grow. So they say, no, not 3,000, give me 20,000, I'll do it. They will not even imagine asking for the rights because for them, but I will not have the money. My case was different. Money was a far object. Money was just needed to do things, not for grow. Money was to complete my vision. So I didn't worry about money at all. I said, yes, I'll do it for 1,000, but give me the right. And suddenly I had the full domain. So I had the 4 things. Now this brought me the total domain, which I never had. They gave me the money, $2 million they gave me to develop. People I was able to put together. But the biggest thing was the reference and guinea pig test side.
The reference as a guinea pig, but also you even had Mercedes-Benz come with you to pitch Toyota.
Oh, that was amazing.
Which I've never heard of before.
Nobody has heard of it. But that's a message to kids. Relationship. You build such a relationship of trust and faith, they will do anything for you. That was my...
Calling Toyota. They said, call me next year. Finally, I think after 3 or 4 years, they said, okay, we'll take you up on
Henry Tolentino was the guy. In fact, he was introduced me to by Peter Kells, the Thai guy from Thailand. Kept bothering, come on, Peter, help me. I need more business. I need to grow. So we became friends. He said, okay, let me call Henry in Toyota. He's my friend. And I'll ask him to see you. So he called Peter Henry. And then he came and said, why don't you call Henry? He's waiting for you. So I called Henry. Hey, Salim. Hey, Salim, how are you? Typical American accent, Yeah, man. I said, look, can I come and see you? No. I know what you're selling. Don't worry at all. This year we have not budgeted and we are not ready to invest. I'll tell you what, next year, call me. This is 2001. So call me next year. Actually, sure, I'll have something for you. Okay. I can force you to see me. So I put down the diary, next year, full year, let's see. So time passes, I'm busy doing it. And again, same time I call Henry. Hey, Henry, do you remember this? Oh, yeah, I remember how things, how you business. Yeah, good. Can I come and see you? No, it's okay. Look, I'm busy. Plus, we don't have much to offer you yet because we're still not ready yet. Call me next year. Oh, Henry. So get busy. But this happened for 3 years. 4th year, I don't call him because I given up and I'm not calling him. And then I get this email from my US office. Actually, somebody called, hi Salim, there's somebody called Henry. He's looking for your number. He seems to have lost your number. He's asking if you can call him back. Henry told, wow. I go, hey Henry, how are you? You didn't call me. I'm sorry. I was about to call you, but now that I need you, you're not calling me. No. Okay, Henry, good to hear from you. Look, can you bring your software to Bangkok day after tomorrow? I can't do that. I need people, and the visa takes at least 4 days. I can come, I'm a Australian national, I can travel, no problem. And I can't do the presentation. I'm not that, technically the other people need to explain. No, Salim, my Japanese, principals are here, and they want to look at the software because I talked about you and Peter told about you a lot. So they want to, it's Henry, please, no. Look, this is the only window you got. Bring your software, I'll look at it. No promises, but at least we can. So Henry, let me see what I can do. So I go off and I'm totally lost what I do. It's a great opportunity. What can I do? So I said, okay. So I called Peter Minchell in Bangkok, number office. Again, I cultivate a relationship at personal level. I just really...
Peter's at Mercedes-Benz?
At Mercedes-Benz. He was CIO. But then Peter Kaz was gone. This was Peter Minchell, CIO, same office. And a German guy, Rosmanith, was the MD. Now, this guy came from Australia, and they were my customer in Australia. So again, I had a relationship with him also. I serviced him, I gave him things. So there was good relationship with the MD and the CIO. So I called the CIO. Hey, Peter, hi, how are you? Peter, I need your help. What do you want? Look, I need you to do something for me. What can I do for you? Look, Toyota wants to see my software, and they want it day after tomorrow, but there's no way I can bring the team. I can come myself. But without team, I can't show. So he says, what can I do? I said, look, maybe, possibly, you can show the software. He says, are you crazy? They're my competition.
You asked Mercedes-Benz to demo the software to Toyota.
Their own software, their own business, I mean, their own transaction. I said, Peter, are you crazy? And I said, look, this is the lifetime opportunity for me to get a big name customer beside yourself. And, well, Peter, when I get second customer to help you, because then I have more, I've got more money, I've got ability to get more people, get you better service. Come on, Peter. Oh, you bloody Pakistanis. You have no idea what you want. I said, I don't give a damn what you think about Pakistani. This is not the problem here. For God's sake, Peter, forget Pakistan. Let me talk to Rosman. Yeah, go to Rosman. Again, Rosman was my friend because, again, work with him. So he came back and, yeah. Tell them to come. Give them this address. Let them come over. All right, so I called her. Okay, I got you the demo. This is the address. Can you please be there 10 in the morning, day after tomorrow? And I'll be there. So immediately, same night I took the flight. Next morning, the day I was in Bangkok, I went to Peter, give him a big hug, kiss. Oh, go away. Don't hug and kiss me. So anyway, I did that. And then he arranged the conference room,
But you didn't tell Henry. You gave him the address, but you didn't tell him where you're going. He's coming from Toyota. He has no idea he's going to Mercedes.
It's the same building, big building. 40 floors, so it could be any office there. So, so he didn't realize it's a Daimler office particularly. The building is the same.
So he shows up and he's like...
He shows up with Japanese guys. And they see Mercedes-Benz logo, big one. Mercedes-Benz
checking the address. Are we in the right place?
But I was outside very good. He didn't say anything at all. Came in. The thing part was that the Mercedes-Benz, the experts on that software were sitting there. The four girls, they were the group on the total users of software because they've been using it for 3 years now. So that sold actually because they were able to answer all the questions. So here, Japanese guys and Henry is asking how it works, and they kept showing. And it was all there. It was like they can have the software tomorrow and start the business from tomorrow. So that really, even my people could not have done so well because my people are not the user.
Exactly.
So user showing. So Henry said, hey, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm confused. What's the confusion? This is Mercedes. Yes. Software belongs to. That's how come you are. Look, Peter said to him, Henry, look, we are helping Salim. We want him to get more customer. You are a good customer. You get it. Good for both of us. He will have more resources than for us to support us. So yeah, we are trying to help him to become strong. It was sold.
It's almost unbelievable. As in, if you hadn't told the story yourself, and I just read it, I'm not sure I would believe it. It's such an incredible moment. And I want to ask you about some of the low moments. Because entrepreneurship is certainly a struggle. And I know there's a dark side. And particularly, the fascinating thing about NetSol is you're listed on Nasdaq from a very early age of the company, I think 98, 99. And your valuation went up to, I think, $800 million at one point, 2000, 2001. And then a week or two later, dropped. And I don't think stopped until it hit like 7 cents a share. So I wanted to ask, what was that experience? Like, how did you get through that?
One day I was sitting with Eugen Beckett in Bangkok. This is when share was at $80, $79. I was visiting him and we were having a steakhouse steak and I was very excited and he was watching me very carefully, overall excited, face red with excitement. Share $800 million worth, I'm worth $300 million. And he said to me, Salim, come down. Calm down, calm down. Why? So your money is paper money. Don't get excited. Calm down. I mean, sometimes people say things which are so hard-hitting. And true to his word, within a few days, market crashed. All that hundreds of millions gone. You know, the share price was fine. Yeah, it was exciting. And yeah, I could have sold. Could have taken $100 million out easily from the market. But it never came to us at all. Because, as I said to you, I was too busy building something, to build the software, to build something, institution which will last even when gone, you know. So it never occurred to me, my brothers and me, that we can take the money out. Because it wasn't the plan. The money was not the plan. Money was not the key motivator at that time. It was, what we were doing was exciting. But of course, when it was gone, that was shocking. Not that, you know, it was our money, it was that was where we could have, you know, used the money to grow and acquire. Could have done that. Sometimes I feel it happened early and it was good for us. Because if we had a longer good stint, could have damaged us more, because every business sees up and downs. But if you have too stable and kept growing for a long time, you're not geared for down. You're not, your mind, your system, your structure, your processes are not, there are no plans on if things go wrong. In our case, we had a swing and then we went down very, very sharp at the bottom.
And just to add some context to what the bottom looked like, it wasn't just the share valuation, but you guys had the most hostile takeover ever, in the sense that it sounded like a military coup.
That was a military coup. That was
like investors coming in with
the guns.
With guns.
Yeah.
Into your building and saying, get out, we're taking
No, they didn't get out. What they did, they came early, 6:30 in the morning. The G wasn't in the office yet, office not open. They came in, they broke the office and then closed from inside. Yes. So the G coming here, door is locked, they can open. So his team waiting out, that's what's started.
And this, by the way, is not in Pakistan. This is in the US.
Los Angeles.
in my home state, California. It was so absurd to think this would happen anywhere in the world.
But those were wild times. The shareholders were wild. They would go to any length to do. So the chief called police because they knocked and said, "Go away, open the door." No, we can't. This is our office. They said, "This is our office." So the chief called the sheriff. Sheriff came in. Said, "No, hey, this is sheriff." So they opened the door. So sheriff said, "What are you doing?" They said, "This is our office." But the chief said, so sheriff said, "Look, I cannot decide whose office this is. I have no idea. Everybody's claiming. Please go to the court." So our lawyer rushed. And the problem was, we were from Nevada. So you have to rush to Nevada. So they just drove to Nevada and went to the court to take a stop deck or whatever that is. I said, okay, I don't know who's true. So they said a summon to the guys. They refused to take the summon. Yeah, they said, this is LA. Los Angeles is not Nevada.
And so I could just imagine what I would be like. I mean, first of all is the shock and the denial. And eventually I would think the depression would sink in. I mean, frustration first, then depression. I mean, you wrote somewhere that it was scary. We didn't know what would happen tomorrow, how we would live the next day. You had salaries that you had to pay. You talk about having to go to Mercedes-Benz and literally pleading for them to open up a guarantee.
That is the day I thought that earth will break and I'll go inside. Because I have lived with a very proud life in a sense that never asked for anything. I worked hard for my work. So if I don't have it, I will not, use it. That's my motto in life. What I earn, I spend on me, but I don't borrow. I don't do that at all. And here we are, over 100 people in Lahore. And there's no money coming in for a period, no money left. But we do have $500,000 cash sitting with Mercedes-Benz as a guarantee to complete the development. And we have not delivered yet. We have delivered only one of the 4 countries so far, 3 to go. So there's no way the money can release. So Najib said, Salim, my brother and I said, Salim, look, just talk. I can see if anyway, because there's no other money. Share price 7 cents, so I can't raise any more money. 7 cents will not raise anything at all. So that's gone. So only way is, and there's no customer paying yet. So I called again. And they knew what happened to the markets. I said, again, look, I'll not call you until I'm desperate. And here is desperate times. You have to get me this $500,000 back. That will give us funds for a few months, and by then your payments are due. We're delivering your payments are due, and we will be fine.
As in, you just called him, or it took you some time? I can imagine, like the ego.
As I said, I never ask for it. This is the problem with me. We have a relationship for 5 years now. I never ask for any favor. I don't ask for favor in terms of business, but not as I do something for me. Never said that to me. So yes, it was very painful, very painful. How can I ask that? Because it's a guarantee. We haven't delivered. I said, Salim, look, it's so. I said, look, you have to do something. This is a desperate time for this company. There are 100 people. And, we will not be able to deliver the commitment I make. So, okay, Salim, look, no promise, but let me talk to the MDs. There are 4 MDs involved. Let me talk to them. Let's see what we do. So same scenario repeated. Says, okay, come to Singapore.
Then you had to go repeat that whole process.
This time again, pleading. Same conference rooms, 4 people, and I was studying like in a court. I'm studying in a court with all MDs looking at me, the CIs looking at me, Oregon sitting there, and I'm saying, gentlemen, I'm here regretfully, but this is what happened to the market down, and we have lost 1 hour service work, so revenue, money is not coming in. At the moment, we are out of funds. If you release this money, this is going to be enough for us for a period when your payments are due anyway. Because I'm going to deliver next country and then you will pay me. And they grilled me. How can we do that, Salim? This is not right. And you should. Okay, so one says, what happens if we don't release this money? I said, what was his name? John. I said, John, somehow we'll survive.
One of the
We'll not die. But if you release it, we will manage it better and we will deliver our commitment and you will not regret. Anyway, I still recall that day of standing and I just said, I hope this earth will break and I'll go inside and it will close so I don't see their faces. After quite some time of grilling, they said, okay, Salim, please go to the other room, let us talk. Somehow, I think Oregon convinced them. He was, and he said to me later on, I was so embarrassed, Salim, that they have to grill you that way. It's not German like we Germans don't do that. We do it normally. So I'm sorry. I said, no, don't worry. But good thing they did was, again, they're very smart people. See, you have to have a smart customer. So they brought me back and said, okay, sit down. Look, we listen to you. All right. Release your payment, but in 5 tranches.
Not all at once.
That was very smart.
5 tranches.
Very $100,000 was enough for, so 5 months money now I got. That is smart, very smart. I mean, sometimes I think I was very lucky to have a customer who's always ahead of me. I mean, they know these things.
Yeah. But it took you crawling, essentially, that humility.
It was, but see, humiliation is good for you, I tell you what. Because it makes something out of you. You learn to put your heart down, bow down your head, you know, your humility. And it wasn't for me. It was for the people. If it was the company, I did it, not for it.
And in terms of strategy, I find it fascinating, this emphasis on smaller projects. Not that you intended for it to be like this, but you said somewhere that if you had secured a major project, 20 million, 50 million, maybe NetSol wouldn't exist or wouldn't exist in the same capacity. Can you say a little bit more about that? Because I think we always want the big project,
it's
the
very
big one.
important for people to realize what happens to the life cycle of a company. See, people don't realize how companies are built over the period, not in one day.
I mean, it's very counterintuitive what you're saying. Like, a major project could be the death of you, when most people think a major project could be the life of us.
For a long time, I looked around and companies were getting projects. Oh, I've got $5 million project. Oh, I've got $10 million project. Those are high days of it. Here I am, $90,000, $100,000. But on one hand, they had big project, but all services. On the other hand, I was building a product. One. Not agree. I wanted to build a project because I needed the money. You know, the one setback that was, again, 2002. Now, these are bad times. You know, it's been a year since .com crash and no new business coming in. And we get a call from St. George Bank, Australia. Get a request. We want to buy a software like yours. Can you come and show us? So
this is a major project.
It's a big
mega project.
It's a mega project. So okay, here we go. So I took, again, no money. We don't have money. Still, I borrowed money, put together a team, came to Australia, and we did 3 days of excellent presentations. Very excited about it. Oh, we got it. Oh, we will get it. They are so impressed with us. Anyway, came back, and after 3 days, we got the call. Sorry, you didn't get it. For 2 days, I was in my room, closed door. I didn't come out. I said, this is a disaster. This is the break we needed. The fact is that nature helped us by not getting that contract. Later on, I realized if we have got that assignment, we could not have delivered it. And they could have destroyed us totally, taken out of the business. So that was about $2 million worth of assignment. Good money at that time. It didn't happen.
Because your team would have been fully consumed. You wouldn't have been building the product that you eventually built.
Exactly.
The structure of the organization, the sales team probably wouldn't have built. It feels like all of these things wouldn't have happened. So
there's a logic behind it. In early life of a company, if you end up with a big assignment, there's no time left to build the company and build the standards and processes and do the small things you need to have an institution built up. You're so busy in delivering that assignment that you ignore all other, because money is coming in. Why would you do your HR standards? Why do you have to do quality? Because money is coming in. Why would you need to train people? It's already working. So what we do, we ignore the important fact of building a company and the basics of the company. And this is what happened to companies in Lahore. 2 of them really had, when I came in Lahore, they had projects of $20 million and here and there, and Time Warner and Northwest Airline, and it was exciting. What happened when the market went down? When the market went down, they were not, even in their imagination, they couldn't imagine there will be zero business to them. Within 6 months, they folded. I mean, after 10 years of work, they folded because they could not. They had no plan, they had no backup strategy, they had no processes in place, they had nothing at all. Suddenly, this totally happened. We were able to survive simply because we were small, but I was, we're the first company to do CMM level 5, only company to date. Nobody did it. None of my big companies did it. Day one, I went to ISO 9001, then I went to CMM. With no money in pocket, I still paid this Chinese consultant to come and do my audit with no money at all. In fact, we didn't pay his bill for 9 months. once, and still he came back to do my second order.
Because you had to, right? You didn't have a mega project. You were scrapping of sorts to get more customers, to differentiate yourself, to build the culture.
That's the key. Stand out. Have things others don't have. So you are the one picked up by them. So that was the key here. Yeah. And exactly, it worked out so well. By 2006, we were same level 5 company. No one else has could done in Pakistan that we did that. And that was amazing achievement for a Pakistani to do that, you know. And with money being short, I still spend $100,000 to do my same one. But that changed it.
I'm conscious of time and I wanted to ask some rapid fire questions.
Let's go for it because yes, we are late.
Yeah, not that you have to answer them quickly, but I'll ask them quickly. Sajid Karmani, you brought him in 1999 and he seemed to manage a lot of the operations and allowed you to focus on sales. And I think entrepreneurs and young enterprises often ask, when should I bring on a more senior level person into management? Why was this the right time for you to bring on this person, or maybe it was someone else as well?
For me, as I said earlier, I believed in institution building. I don't want to do everything myself. I don't want to, hire people. I don't do sign checks. I want to focus on the customer. See, that was the strength I had. Remember how business came in? How Twitter came in? Because I had the relationship. I want to totally consume with the customer. I want it to be, somehow they will do anything I want. So I needed someone I can trust blindly to manage the operation, deliver the shop, make sure it was working, and then build standards, build processes. That was the key to either Sajjad or somebody else.
And so then in 2000, you brought in Tahir Malik, who was managing your HR. I mean, at that point, you guys had shifted to Y Block. You had about 200 employees. I think this is a question a lot of us ask as well, is when is it time to bring in someone senior in HR to build out these kind of systems?
I wish we did it done earlier. But still, before Tahir, I hired locally. And none of them had that thing. I very quickly I can see people. And I have this particular thing about people in my mind. And the success of NetSol is because of people. People like Salim Ghauri, Tahir Malik, and lots of them who have really contributed, but they were handpicked by me. And Tahir Malik was my friend in Australia when we lived there, and he was an HR in an Australian company. And I really liked his hard approach on things. He would do things systematically. So I watched him. So when I was desperate, I went to Australia to Tahir. I said, I want you to move to Pakistan. He said, is it crazy? I said, yeah, I'm crazy, but I want you to. Look, I moved. I did well. I want you to move back. I need someone to look after my HR. And his wife is like sister to me, so I asked Shaheen. And she said, let's go. Let's go to Pakistan. Salim was saying, so we go to Pakistan. I said, look, this is nice. My people are nice. Nice word for you. People will love you. And you have to come. So he moved. But he didn't realize where he's coming to. Because people were wild here. People were not used to standards. People were not used to processes. And here Tahir is like a general from the army. He's very disciplined. And after 2 months, Tahir came to me. What have you done to me? I said, what? You didn't tell me these people are this bad. I said, if I told you, you'll never come. I want my password back. I want to go back. I said, sorry, you're not getting your password back. Fix it, then you can go back. But he fixed it. He really did a good job.
And then after 5 years, you said you launched the sales team. So this was, I guess, 2001. Why was that the right time? What was happening at that point? I mean, I guess the stock market had crashed. So it's really interesting why that was the right time to hire.
Always do things when things are down, because then it gives you more time. When things are high, then you get too busy to train and learn and to make a plan. And
at that point, you had, I guess, the full suite of the product as well.
About getting ready, so now you have to sell it or market it. So, though there was no market to buy, so again, I did my quality standards when there was no business. And said, are you crazy? You have no business? I said, but this is the time. Now people can focus on learning the quality standards. If we have projects, we will not be able to get these accreditations
And how did you know how to price your product? Because you have this great story of Tom in Texas, which sounds so, so typical.
He was, he's a good man again.
And you priced it, I think, at 50,000.
Yeah.
And now I heard somewhere one license is like 5 million, 100x. How did you learn how to price the product? Because I think a lot of us, ourselves included, struggle with this.
There's no price. The price is of the customer. This is the message from Tom. So I went to Tom, and then Tom was a competition at that time in a different company, but I called him, hey Tom, I've got this software developed. And we're talking about 90 something. 99. I have this software. Oh, come over to Houston. Okay. These tall guys are true American with. So, hey, he kind enough to pick me up from the airport. Again, like good man. I was amazed. He didn't need to do that. So told him I'm coming with this flight. So he picked me up from the airport. And this nice big car, which, Texans do everything. And I'm totally lost. So I sit in this small man with 6.5 feet man, sitting in a big car on his seat with my seatbelt on. And he takes me to this office. Oh, wow, what an office. All glass, all, and this room, all, lush. It was a lesson to learn on how I will do my office one day. So all right, he's kind. He took me for lunch, very nice lunch. I said, you hungry? Yeah, hungry. Nice steak. Just a steak I ate, and then come back to the office. All right, what you got? So I give him this steak. Oh, nice, Salim. All right, Salim, this is nice. So what do you think? What do you want? What do you think you'll license that? Oh, $50,000. You give it back to me. Go back to where you come from. That's not my customer. Our customers are managing portfolio worth $500 million to $1 billion. They will not even imagine that a software of someone can manage their software. It's all in the mindset. Come back to me when you're ready with a few $1 million worth of software. So today what you do is look at the portfolio and look at their, user base and then decide. And customers understand that. So today our license is, any deal could be about $20 million. Less than that.
And the CMI level 5, you said 2006 was the happiest moment of your professional life when you got this certified for this CMI level. But why did you know that was the right time? What if you had done it earlier? I guess you had the ISSO certification as well.
It's a crowd out there. I still killing people. And I will always, when I go to places, I will always wear a odd color. I will wear odd color. And I do that because, when I'm standing when I'm speaking, I look at the crowd. I look at somebody different to I. That's it, standing out of the crowd. Everybody's doing something bright, something boring. So my eyes are moving. I'm talking. I'm trying to catch eyes so I can talk. Like I'm talking to people in my speeches or my talk or my lectures. So I pick up someone which is very different. Well, I want to be that. And there's a crowd of companies. Lahore has got 500 IT companies, software development houses. The world has got thousands of offices. How would you stand out? So what is that? Well, different standards, all right. What standard? So we studied, CMMI is one standard which is really very difficult to attain. Because there's very stringent requirement. But when you attain it, suddenly you claim to be the best quality company in the world, because at that time there were only 300 companies in the world, level 5, and 200 was in India.
200 in India. And
USA only had 30, 40. Australia had 2. So here, suddenly a company from Pakistan is level 5 in that pool group of those elite companies. What happens then? You stand out. Worked 6 years for that. 6 years for that to get level 5.
And I love how, not level 5, but when you got the ISSO certification, you launched the ad in the newspaper, introducing yourself to the Pakistan market. This was 2000. And I suppose it had been 4 years. And this was the right time, again, to differentiate yourself, to say, hey, look, this is us and we're different, which I love. Quickly, and ironically, about your 4-hour sleeping schedule. obviously that's not there anymore. But for a while you were sleeping just 4 hours a day. And I'm just curious because now it seems like things are much more sustainable. But was that necessary to sleep those 4 hours a day? Was that the cost of NetSol's success?
Look, not that it was necessary, it was the need of that hour because I need to be moving all the time. I had very few people to support me. It was myself everywhere. And I knew I cannot lose this opportunity. I realized we have something big with the Daimler as a customer and this domain with us. And now that we own it, this is big. This is big. So there was this concern in my heart and mind that this will be lost if we hesitate or if we slow down. So cannot slow down. We need to keep going. I like my sleep. I don't want to sleep. I hate. But for even today, I sleep. Doesn't matter what I sleep. I wake up 6 in the morning because my trainer is at home. I have a home gym, so my trainer is down there waiting for me to come, and I do it religiously. I got this. I am really particular about what I do. I do it properly. So sleep. Not that sleep is not about sleep is very important. I tell people to sleep well. But looking after yourself and your work is important too. But now I sleep well. I mean, it's not the problem. It's not that. I mean, I can go home now and get some rest. It's okay. These things have been managed well. But so those were very important times when made sure that, we don't lose a moment. And if there's someone who wants to see me, I'll go and see them.
And related to that, my last question is this transition from entrepreneur to CEO. You have around 1,500, probably more people. NetSol is always talked about as this, hub of innovation and excitement, and the culture feels right. What was that transition like for you from entrepreneur to CEO?
I think it just happened, not realized much later that I'm a CEO now. Because I was, getting the treatment of a CEO much later. But over the period, you have to hand over the work to others. That's how you become a CEO. You can't do everything. So, and that realization came later that, look, I've handed over now sales to this guy, now doing this and this, and I've got now more time to myself and think the future. That's when you become a CEO, when you have more time, sit back and think. Before that, I was an entrepreneur running around. And few years back, it just, we brought Naeem to Bangkok to take over sales from me. That was a good break for me. Certainly, okay, Naeem does a very good job. So we brought Asad, my nephew. He came from USA. I trained him, and then I sent him to Bangkok too. So suddenly, I had less. And that was great. So suddenly, I was feeling like a CEO now. So it was a gradual. It may have happened overnight, but I don't realize what night was that when it happened. But it happened. So yeah. But then CEO has its own, this is a very important role now in the life of the company. Here, I don't have to now rush, but now I can calmly look at. And 22 years of work done, how do we now make sure it is not undone? How we make sure that once we are not running the company, this company is bigger and better. That's what institution is about. A good leader always makes sure that, in fact, the company is better once he leaves because he has created such an environment, such a structure created that company will continue to grow. And that's the passion now left. I'm 62. Whenever they want me to retire, I'll retire, play golf. I hope they will let me work because I enjoy what I do. But still, I believe company will run better. Maybe they will have better ideas when they take over, whoever takes over. I believe this will be, inshallah, our company which will be here when we are not here.
Inshallah.